What's up, Rasmanites? Well, for this week's movie review, I'm going to talk to you about the latest release from Walt Disney Pictures, starring Jim Carrey, A Christmas Carol. Today, on the Razman's Reality. A Christmas Carol, of course, is based on Charles Dickens' classic novel. Everyone knows this story by heart. It's the story of an old miser who is filled with greed and doesn't appreciate Christmas for what it is at all, and doesn't appreciate people in general. He's visited by his business partner who passed away 7 years prior on Christmas Eve as a ghost, and told that he will be visited by three spirits. They are the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future, as it turns out. The spirits visit Scrooge in order to try to prevent him from forging an unbearable chain in both life and physically, in or whatever form of physically as a ghost that you are in the afterlife. The ghost of Christmas past takes Scrooge into his past, and he sees himself at his school, being an only child at Christmas. He sees himself in his first place of business with his old boss, where he meets his first great love and then loses that first great love. The ghost of Christmas present shows Scrooge what he's missing at Christmas time. He takes him into the home of his business clerk, Bob Cratchit, and also his nephew Fred. And the ghost of Christmas yet to come shows Scrooge the life that he will have if he continues down this path in the future, and that's dying a lonely man. Also, Tiny Tim, of course, dies due to neglect. Scrooge then repents his ways, becomes one of the best men that the world's ever known. Tiny Tim doesn't die, and we're left with the everlasting message of God bless us, everyone. So you're probably asking yourself why I chose to review this film, as it is a story that all of us know by heart. Well, the reason is that Disney's A Christmas Carol, starring Jim Carrey, is presented in a way that no other version has ever been presented in, and it's really what sells this movie, and that is 3D animation. Now, 3D animation is a big hit and miss. If it's not done right, it can be absolutely terrible and just ruin a production. But the 3D animation for this one is done very, very well. Jim Carrey plays Scrooge, the ghost of Christmas past. The ghost of Christmas past is a candlelight that is just lit up with the past of Christmas, and there's a line in the film that asks Scrooge point blank, would you be so quick, ye mortal, to extinguish the light that I give, or something to that effect. The ghost of Christmas present is also played by Jim Carrey, and the way they presented this ghost was, I thought, the most unique thing that I had seen as far as ghost portrayal, and that is they had him his ginormous self, and then he comes down, but rather than take Scrooge around from place to place, to start off with, he twirls his big staff around in a circle, and you see Christmas present that way, and you see the presence of Scrooge and the Ghost of Christmas Present in Bob Cratchit's house and in Nephew Fred's home that way. And I just thought it was a really interesting and unique way to do it, and it creates for some great effects. And then The Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come is also done really well. He's a really scary, ominous figure, and this is where the 3D effects were used probably the best in the entire film, because Scrooge drinks like a mouse, he runs away from a cat, he is running away from big horses that are much like the horsemen of the apocalypse, or depicted as such. So this was really well done and really enjoyable to see. There are moments in the film where Scrooge is flying over the top of the crowd. There are moments in the film when it's snowing and it looks like and feels like the snow is right on top of you. And really the most unique portrayal of the story that I've ever seen. I don't know if I'd call it my favorite. That is probably still The Muppet Christmas Carol, but this would be right behind it for sure. Jim Carrey plays Scrooge very close to the book, so you'll hear some iconic lines that you've heard from other people portraying it that way, like Michael Caine in The Muppet Christmas Carol and Patrick Stewart in the TNT television adaptation. Also, you hear Gary Oldman as the voice of Bob Cratchit in this movie. Gary Oldman, for the win. He is one of the best actors on the planet. So, if you like his work, you want to see it. For that reason, the film, of course, is directed by Robert Zemeckis. So if you're a fan of Robert Zemeckis' work, you will definitely want to check this out. This is very much in the same vein of the other holiday classic, The Polar Express, that he directed, except for the fact that it's all done in 3D. So bottom line is, 3D effects make this worth watching. So I couldn't recommend it more. 5 stars. Check out Disney's A Christmas Carol starring Jim Carrey in Disney Digital 3D. This is reality according to the Razman. And Razman style. It's not just a catchphrase, but a way of life.